Hi, I'm Beaver, and you're listening to the Greek Godcast.
I'm going to be talking about the newly released August Burns Red album, Guardians. Just a little fun fact about me. As you know, I am a self-taught artist. I run my own. I run a couple of different social media platforms that I use to promote my art, including my own Patreon account, aside from the one that I do with Tyler for Greek Godcast. And when I'm creating art, one of the big things that helps me is music. And man, I'm one of those people that say, I will listen to just any kind of music. But I'm not one of those people that say I'll listen to any kind of music and then flip out when somebody puts on something really what is like might be considered odd. I'll give anything a chance, man. Like, if I just don't like something, I don't like something. It's not because I don't like a particular type of music. Like, for example, like country. I don't like modern country. I don't like the 90s country, like the Garth Brooks era. But, like, lately, actually, there is some, like, blues and even, like, different kinds of, like, I don't know if obscure is the right word, but they're definitely not mainstream artists, that I actually have been listening to. So it's not like I'm against a particular genre of music or whatever. I listen to whatever. But when I'm creating art, my favorite has been since I was a teenager. My favorite genre of music to listen to is metal. Like, oh man, like, and when I say metal, understand I'm using that as a very broad term, okay? Like, okay, there are so many different subgenres of metal, and people get hung up on that. There's doom metal, there's black metal, there's new metal, there's alt metal, there's uh, death metal, there's speed metal, thrash metal. I'm not even gonna try to name them all, man. There's too many, and some people get hung up on it. I'm not one of those people. To me, it's all the same. It's all metal. Like, if it's good, it's good. It doesn't matter what you want to label it. I mean, if you want to label it, hey, this is our kind of metal, and it's called, this kind of metal, and it's cool, then whatever, man. I respect it, but I mean, don't get mad at me if I don't remember what your specific kind of metal is called. That being said, I don't know what kind of genre August Burn Red falls under. I think no, I'm not even gonna say it. I I think they're in the same category as like Killswitch Engage, and I can't remember what kind they're under. I think it's hardcore. I think I don't know. Look, don't be mad at me, man. I just enjoy the music, like I said. So anyway, when I'm creating art, I listen to metal. And August Burns Red is one of, if not my absolute all-time favorite metal band. And that is because while there's so many other bands in the metal genre that, do hold near and dear to my heart, like, to me, none of them have consistently put out albums that I can just turn on and listen to the entire thing and not want to skip tracks. None of them. None of them do that. There was a time, I haven't listened to them in a long time. I probably should go check it out. But I used to kind of be like with that with a band called Darkest Hour. But they were like close to, me doing that with August Burns Red. But there was still like at least one, sometimes two tracks on there on some of their other later stuff that I was like, I care less about this track. Skip. I don't do that with August Burns Red, ever. Like, I can put on any August Burns Red CD, or well, I say CD. I mean now I stream everything on Google Play, but you get what I'm saying. And I just go, man. No, that doesn't mean I don't have favorites. Like, I can listen to all their music, but I do have particular favorites. So, like, everything from Constellations to to the new one, Guardians. I forgot what I'm reviewing. Like, I have a playlist of all those albums, and I listen to all of them. And the reason for that is I do like Messengers. It's just when I built this playlist, I honestly forgot about it, because Constellations was the album that I got into when I heard about August Burns Red, and so like that's kind of my starting point. Messengers is a good album, and I'm the same way with it like everything else. I just don't ever think about it. Like, I just go to the ones that I've been on since then. But all of their albums are good, and if you've never listened to the band, you definitely should. Now, this kind of music review, I'm not gonna start like regularly reviewing music. If something comes out and I really like it and I want to talk about it, then that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, like that's pretty much the gist of it. Like, I'm not gonna like regularly review music albums. I'm not gonna regularly review anime. But this week I'm doing one of each of those. But next week, since I'm talking, I don't know if Tyler's gonna make this announcement on his episode or not. But Monday is May the 4th. And if you know anything about Star Wars, that's May the 4th be with you. And we are going to be doing something for Star Wars Day. I will be coming on with Tyler. He doesn't know anything about the Clone Wars at all. He just finished reviewing watching and giving his thoughts on the original trilogy. Of course, I was there to spit out my 2 cents about it too. We talked about it, and we wanted to do something for Star Wars Day. And I've watched all of the Clone Wars. In fact, I'll be finishing up everything that they've put out for it up to date. I don't know if they finished the season 7 yet or not. I'll have to double check. But everything that's released up to date on Disney Plus for season 7, I'm going to be talking about, and all the seasons prior, back when it was being aired on Cartoon Network, before Disney bought it. And then even the movie from 2008, which is really just 4 episodes clipped together into a movie. I should really save that thought for the review. Anyway, we're gonna be doing something for Star Wars Day, so that's really all I got to say about that. So stay tuned for that. More content coming. But anyway, let's get down to the nitty gritty. I don't want to take up a whole lot of time doing this, because there's really, man, as great as this album is, there's not an hour's worth of content here. I'm going to be pretty much straightforward with this. Before I actually talk about the album itself, like I said, every album that I've listened to of August Burns Red that, I've heard and that I have in my playlist, man, I just jam out to those albums consistently, and Guardians just falls right in easily with the rest of it. So you've got Constellations, and you've got Leveler and Rescue and Restore, and you've got what is that other one called? Phantom Hourglass? Crap, why can't I remember that? Oh, that's so embarrassing. It's the one that came out before Guardians. I think it's called Phantom Hourglass. I think it's Phantom something. I hate it when I brain fart like this. Anyway, and then now you got Guardians. And so the thing that drives me to this band, obviously is the band itself. Everybody's super talented. If you don't know who's on the lineup right now, it's Jake Lurs, and I hope I said that right. And he is the vocals. Man, dude, he has some really intense screams, some really amazing vocals. They're really unique. They're really solid. Man is insanely talented, man. It's really great. Love his vocals. Then you got Matt Greiner on drums. Again, I hope I said that right. Really great drummer. Dude, everybody brings 150% to everything that they do, and he's just an amazing drummer. You've got JB Brubaker, which again, I hope I said that right. Dude, JB does some of the best lead guitar stuff that I can think of for this kind of music, man. Just really amazing work. And then of course, a lead guitarist has to have, in my opinion anyway, a solid rhythm guitarist, second guitarist, whatever you want to call it. And he's got that with Brett Rambler I mean, like, the two just, like, their music just, like, feeds off each other. Like, one isn't what it is without the other. Like, their styles of playing are really complementary, and they just make the overall sound of the band, like, just just great, man. Like, and then every band has to have a bassist, because bass is amazing. And then you've got Dustin Davidson for their bassist, and he's the final piece. You know, you've got the drums, the guitars, and the vocals, but the bass, man, dude, their bassist, man, he's awesome. And there's a bunch of really talented individuals, and they just make up for a really amazing band. And they, man, if I sound like I'm fat breathing a lot, it's just because I'm really excited and I keep running out of breath. Like, it's not because I am in terrible shape, but I'm just saying, like, maybe I should slow down. I am really excited. I've listened to this album so many times in the last 2 weeks. I actually didn't listen to it when it came out. It released on April 3rd, and I forgot about that. I saw something about it a couple of months ago, and I was like, yes, new August Burns Red. I'm super excited. And then April rolled around, and I was just like, coronavirus, and I totally missed the release. And then I just remembered, oh yeah, they have a new album out. I need to listen to that now. So I've listened to it for about 2 weeks. And dude, it's super good. It is super good. It brings everything to the table that the previous albums have brought while still being fresh. Like, definitely. Just going through the tracks real quick. Just gonna give you some of my quick thoughts on it. So the album starts out with the track Paramount, which was a solid start. Like, it immediately gives you an idea of the kind of great intensity that this album is going to have. And it stays this kind of consistency through the whole thing. And I say consistency, that's what I got out of the narrative, the next track. Like, the same consistent intensity. Great track. So far, so good. Then we get to Bones, which is one of my favorites. Like, they have all their songs are good, but they have songs that just stand out, which is great, because you want songs that stand out that people are going to really like. But the ideal thing is for people to like every song. So I like every song, but then I have songs that I like even more. So that's what this is here with this album. Then you got Defender, which, man, I love Defender. It was really awesome. Yeah, honestly, when I was listening to it, the first thing that I thought about listening to the track was Whitewashed from the album Constellations, which is, man, that's a personal favorite of mine. Whitewashed. And so I fell in love with Defender. It's a really great song. And then after Defender, we go into Lighthouse, which I love that too for completely different reasons, because to me, it kind of has the same vibes as the track Spirit Breaker from Rescue and Restore, which Spirit Breaker is just, man, like, that whole album is good, but that track, Spirit Breaker, really stands out to me. Like, it is the one track that stands out the most. It is such a great song. And Lighthouse really reminded me of that. And so I really enjoyed it. It's definitely on the list of favorites here. And then we go into the track Dismembered Memory, which goes, again, great track, consistent sound, consistent intensity. A lot of amazing work went into it. Great stuff. Then we go into the track Ties That Bind. This is one of those tracks in an ABR album that I will get lost in. Like, there was a few times that I was drawing, listening to this album, and it get to this track, and I would just kind of get lost into it. Like, it's just really, really good. And then after Ties That tongue-tied. That happens at least once an episode. After Ties That Bond, we get to Bloodletter, which was a great, just all-around nasty, heavy song. Really, really heavy. Man, just really good. It's like the kind of heavy that you want out of metal, but they do it without overdoing the heavy. Like, there's some bands that are heavy, And I feel like they overdo it. Like they're just trying too hard. Like if they just let off the gas a little bit, that would actually be a better band. Like, don't get me wrong, man. I love speed. I love heavy. I love screams. Like, I love all that. But sometimes, man, and we've said this so many times, less is more. Less is more. Like, you can get more across by being at least a little bit subtle some of the time than just being 1,000% extreme all the time. Some people might disagree with that sentiment, but that's just me. That's just me. So, anyway, moving on. The next track, Extinct by Instinct, which I really like this one. This really gave me like some throwback ABR vibes to some of the sounds that they have. Just those classic ABR sounds that you hear in all their albums. But at the same time, instead of just being a completely nostalgic track, which you could consider boring, it still somehow comes off as fresh. They still put new things into it. Like, this is a band that, like, they have a sound, okay? They definitely have a sound, and they're going to put that sound in every album, but they have, like, this point to make where they're not afraid to do new things to grow as musicians, which I really appreciate about them. And at the same time, like, they do take risk in some of their getting out of their comfort zone with their sounds. None of those, I mean, there's always a reward to those risks. Like, it always pays off. It always does well. And so I really enjoyed it. Then after that, you've got Empty Heaven, which that had different vibes. Like, not bad though. Not bad at all. It had a really, really great sound. Like, I mean, like I said, it had different vibes, but it had a great sound. Even though I got different vibes from it, it was very much appreciated. Like, again, the whole, they do things a little different, on each album and not try to stay in a box, and they do it well. Like, every time they do something different, it works for them. And this is a great example of that here with Empty Heaven. And then the last but not least, normally, it's rare for me to pick out the last track as a probable favorite, and yet here I am doing that with Three Fountains, the last track of the album. It really might be my favorite track of this album. It's a little over 6 minutes long, and it's like a roller coaster, man, but like a great roller coaster. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just really good. It was an amazing way to end that album. And like I said, it might be my favorite track on it, like, hands down. So, all in all, overall thoughts, knocked it out of the park. Again, can ABR do wrong? Sure they can. Nobody's perfect, but so far so good. Like, it's already on my playlist with all the other albums. It's going to be something I jam out to when I create artwork. And it's amazing. Like, not disappointed in the least. If you haven't listened to it, I suggest you do that. They're on all the major streaming platforms. If you want to just, hop on your Spotify or your Google Play or whatever it is you like, go ahead and download it, give them a listen. Go to the shows. Support the band. You know what I'm saying? So, do all that cool stuff. So, let's see. Is there anything else I need to say before I get off here? I said this was going to be short, so yes, I am wrapping up this episode. Only just some of the things that we had talked about in the last couple episodes. May the 4th, going to do a review of the Clone Wars series. And we have, we have goals for the show. And one of those is building up our Patreon fan base on Patreon. So if you would like to support the podcast, please consider becoming one of our patrons. Minimum is $3 for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes stuff for the show, along with personal shout-outs and your name being written in your own personal video that we'll post online for all to see in your shout-out on our quote-unquote custom banner that I may or may not have painted on giant paper in my kitchen. But it looks really nice. It looks nice. We're working with what we got. So anyway, there's that. If we get 15 patrons, I think we have 5 or 6. I think we have 6. Hold on. 1, 2. Okay, me, Mike Concho, Lance, Kendall, Brittany. 5. We have 5. Okay. I thought we had 6 for some reason. Anyway, we have 5. We get 15. Tyler will watch and review The Mandalorian. As you know, the reason this is a big deal is because he just wants to stick to the movies. Like, he has a taste in his mouth from the original trilogy. Not the worst taste overall, but Return of the Jedi did not help him at all. If you're wondering what I mean by that, then go check out our review. It's a little lengthy, but it's worth the time to listen because we go through the whole movie and we give our 2 cents, and we go on a few rants about it. So we get 15 patrons. He will step out of the realm of just the Star Wars movies, and he will watch and review The Mandalorian. If we get 50 subscribers on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, I will watch, unfortunately, The Notebook and review it. Because I've never seen it, never had an interest in it, but you know what? I love you guys, and so if we get 50 subscribers, I'll do that. And if we get 100 subscribers, I will watch and review with officially confirmed Mrs. Dan the Man. She will come on the show, and she will review it with us. And that's Dirty Dancing and Footloose. So, anything else besides that? I'm trying to think. We're always putting out exclusive content on Patreon. We're always putting up content on our other social media platforms. We post stuff on Facebook all the time. If you want to buy a shirt right now, we've got 2. We're going to try to get some more variations of the shirts and maybe some new shirts up in the next couple of weeks. But right now we have 2. We have our logo, and then we have our logo plus our patented saying, "It's the format, copyright Greek Podcast." Over on Teespring. So go to teespring.com/GreekCod. Tongue-tied twice in an episode. Teespring.com/GreekGodcast. Go to the storefront, get you a t-shirt, help support the cause. And that's all I can think of. So, that being said, I'm about to get off here. Love you guys. Hope you enjoyed the review. If there is, like, some other kind of band that you'd like me to listen to and review, I'm not opposed to it. So, you know, feel free to throw a suggestion, and I'll give it a listen, and I'll give my thoughts on it. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Be safe. Love you guys. Thanks for your support.